We are working on 2015 paper 2 today. Only selected questions. Okay, so let's start with question 3. No need to wait already, wait so long. You should have taken it out just now. Okay, so I don't have doubts that you know how to round off to one significant figure. But this question says each number by rounding off each number. How many numbers do you see in this question? There are 3 numbers. You need to round off every single one of them to one SF. Okay, and it says show your working. So from 61.2 to 81.6, 19.87, we're going to round off every single one of them. The first number, 61.2, circle the second SF. The second SF is the 1. Okay, so since we are circling a 1, we don't need to change the first SF. We end up with 60. Okay, please don't have the misconception that the first number is just 6. Okay, so this is a common mistake. They know, oh yeah, circle the 1 since it is 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first number doesn't change. But you have to ask yourself, hey, are you sure 61.2 is approximately 6? No, they are so different. If you feel that they are approximately the same, then I will give you $6, you will give me $60. If you think that they are approximately the same, which wouldn't be the case. So you cannot leave it as 6. You have to include the next place, which is 0. So 61.2 is approximately 0. Let's move on to the next number. Circle the second SF. What is the second SF? Zihui, what's the second SF? 8, yes. Since we are circling the 8, we draw an up arrow and it becomes 300, yes. Over. Circle the second SF. 9. And we get 20. So this you can use your calculator. Square root 900. That's just 30. So think about it, 3 marks, good deal or not? Very good deal. You better be able to score. Okay, solve the algebra. 3 times x minus 3. If you're teaching maths or chatting, don't deprive him of learning. 3 times x gives us 3x. Next, 3 times negative 3 gives us negative 9. That's on the left-hand side already. The right-hand side, we have equals to x minus 2. Both of them, we are going to subtract x. Because we don't x on both sides. X on both sides, we cannot continue. Subtract x on both sides. We end up with 2x. No need. Equals to 2. No more x already. So yeah, you don't have to put an arrow. If you can visually see that we are going to subtract x on both sides. So next thing we are going to do is to add 9. I don't want this negative 9. So if you owe somebody $9, you have to pay back $9 so that it disappears. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. We end up with 2x equals to 2 plus 9. That gives us 11. Is it negative? Oh, sorry. It's negative 2. So negative 2 plus 9, we get 7. Okay, so 9 minus 2, we get 7. Now, next step is to divide by 2. I don't want this 2. Get rid of it. We're going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. So x equals to 3.5. Or 7 over 2 or 3.5. All the same, 3.5. X minus 9, 2x equals to 7. Can. So you see, the first page, Arranging number, writing standard form, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 marks already. If you get this 11 marks correct, it's 11 out of 50. Then. 10. 11 marks out of 50. Almost 20% of the paper, you got it correct already. Just the first page only. Okay, on scale of a map, this one you can do is just ratio. Focus on part C. Part C says that on the map, the forest has an area of 5 square centimeters. And this is the scale. In order to do part C, part A is going to be very useful. Okay, so let me just do part A first. 1 cm to 200,000 cm. But they wanted it in kilometers. So our objective is to change cm to kilometer. Do you know how to go from cm all the way to kilometer? Or do you need to break down cm to meter, then meter to kilometer? I need to break down. Yeah, or both also okay lah. So break down cm to meter, divide by 100. 1 cm, 2,000 meter. Right, divide by 100. Then after that, from meter to kilometer, divide by 1,000. 1 cm to 2 km. Okay, so that's our answer for part 1. Part A, 1 cm to 2 kilometer. Now we move on to part C. Map to actual. You start off with the length. 1 cm to 2 kilometer. Okay, this was from your part A lah. Now they want area. What about the ratio of area? How is it determined? Okay, let's check whether you know how to do this. So Chiang Hui, how do we go from ratio of length to ratio of area? Square. What do we square? Square everything. Good answer. 1 square becomes 1. Cm you square, you get square cm. Okay, so what happens after that? 4, right? 2 square is 4. Km you square, you get square kilometers. Okay, this is the correct relationship for ratio of area. You compare that with what I'm going to write, which is wrong. Okay, do not copy what is in red. What is in red is wrong. Map actual. 1 cm, 2 km. This is your length. Then after that, you go to area. 1 cm, you square it, you get 2 square km. Look at this. What is the difference between the working in blue and the working in red? The one in red is wrong. So what is the difference? Can you see the difference? The 2. What's wrong with that 2? Never square. If you didn't square, then it remains as the original question, right? 1:2. I mean, it remains the same as the original ratio of length. But we are dealing with area. Area and length, different things. We need to square the length to get the area. So this is wrong. Back to the correct working. Now, on the map, we have area of 5 square centimeters. What about the area in reality? Okay, the scale is such that 1 square cm represents 4 square kilometers. What about 5 square centimeters? Times 5. Okay, what times 5? Welcome back, girls. 4 times 5, 5 times 4, same thing. 20 square kilometers. And that's our answer. Okay, next one, explanation question. So 2 people carry out survey, how long it takes for students to go to school. Oh yeah, I was just talking to the Sec 1, my Sec 1 students for this type of question. So we decided that, hey, this is really not a good way to carry out a survey. You know, you all do survey for EBS also, right? You think about it. If you want to find out how long it takes for students to get to school, should we only be asking students who get off one of the school buses? No, right? If we just ask people who get off the school bus, we are only limiting ourselves to people who take that school bus. We should be considering people who also walk. What else? Cycle, MRT, drive, all these possibilities. Okay, so why is it not a good way? They did not consider students who come to school by other methods. Example, walk, MRT. Huh? Fly? Fly cannot fly lah. Run, yeah, run. So examples like, yeah, you can list some examples. As long as you make it clear that you know what the problem is with the original way of getting the data. Okay, so they actually did a lot of hard work. They found out that these are the times and number of students. We need to understand the data. So the first column tells us that there are 10 students who took between 0 and 10 minutes to get to school. Okay, including the 10 minutes, but not including 0. Can you imagine? Is it possible to come to school in 0 minutes? No, unless you sleep in the school. Right? So that's why this inequality sign, this one doesn't have an equal, because it's impossible to be equal to 0. It is just going to be greater than 0. All right. Then the next column, it says, okay, there are 21 people who took more than 10 minutes. More than 10, but cannot be equal to 10. Why? Because the equal to 10 already falls in the previous column. You cannot have two columns, both got 10 minutes, one. Otherwise, that poor student, 10 minutes, does he fall under the first column or the second column? So cannot have overlap. And so on and so forth. Okay, I just realized that this bus is humongous. Right. They survey students who get off one school bus, and then I just realized that, wow, this school bus can take so many people. Anyway, that's not too important. So that's what's happening. Now, in the next portion, draw a histogram. So a histogram looks like bar graph that we see. So from 0 to 10 minutes, we have 10 people, 10 students, followed by 21. So we draw 10, then followed by 21. Please use a ruler. Then from 20 to 30, 26, 13, 13, then how much? 8 and 2. 8 and 2. Okay. So this is our histogram. Any of y'all take more than 50 minutes to reach school? See, in this case, there are two people, right, who take more than 50 minutes to reach school. All right, poor thing, 50 minutes. Okay, now let's move on to question 8. I'm skipping question 7 because it is very similar to one question that we did in a previous paper. Okay, now question 8. Find the median score in each test. So your notes, circle the word median. When you see median, you need to find middle position first. You will need to find a middle position every time there's a median question. So where's the median position? How do we find a median position? There are 35 students over here. There are 35 members of the class. Okay, so 35 students. Who is the student in the center? plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, anybody needs me to explain why 35 plus 1 divided by 2 for the middle position? Anybody needs? Raise our hand. Sensi need explanation? Why plus 1 divided by 2? Need or not? No need. Okay, then you explain why plus 1 divided by 2. Number is in between. What do you mean? Okay, so what if we only have 3 students? Student number 1, student number 2, student number 3. Where is the middle position? Why and a half? Student number 1, student number 2, student number 3. Student number 1.5 is over here. 2, right? How do you get 2? How do you get 2 lah? What plus 1? 3 plus 1, you get 4. 4 divided by 2, you get 2. Position number 1, position number 2. That is the middle position. Okay, very tempting, like what Chen Xi almost did, to say that the middle position is 3 divided by 2. Very tempting to do that. Then when we see the problem straight away, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. 1.5 is in between 1 and 2. That doesn't give us the middle position. And we can see it again when we have 4 people. So where is the middle position for 4 people? You can see that it is in between these 2 fingers, right? But how do we get this value from 4? Is it simply 4 divided by 2? No. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1, 2. This is not a middle position. We need to take 4, then what? Plus 1 to get 5. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. 1, 2.5. So that's why we need to plus 1 divided by 2. So we write for both of these cases, middle position equals to 35 plus 1 over 2 to give us 18. Position number 18. So now we need to arrange the students from the smallest result, the one who did the worst, which is this guy. You only got 53 marks. From the smallest to the largest. The largest, we have 2 people in the top place. 70 marks for maths. Arrange them. We need to find number 18. So let's go and count. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, this guy, the one I circled, he has position number 18. Then we ask him, what did you get? And what did he get? He got 61, 62. The median is 62. Okay, please take note that he isn't the only guy who got 62. There are other people who got 62. In fact, there are 6 people who got 62. Okay, but the median position belongs to this guy, number 18. And the median for mathematics will be 62. But what about a median for science? You need to count again. Number 18. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If you count from the top, okay, hang on. So this is has a value of 61, 2, 3, 63. The median position still 18 because the number of students didn't change. Still position number 18, the value is 63. Okay, so question, do you notice the way I count? Let's go back to our sides. This is the way I count. 1, 2, number 3, I start from the bottom. Then I go on to number 4 and number 5. Then number 6. But what if we don't start from the bottom? What if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is number 18, counting from top. Okay. Now, what happens if I were to count from bottom? I'll use another color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is my number 18. Counting from bottom. Is there a difference in value? No difference, right? They all got 63 marks. But is there a difference in the dot that I circled? Yeah, there's a difference. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because literally, when I am trying to arrange these people from 56 marks, 57 marks, 58, there are 3 guys with 58, right? 3 people with 58 marks. Whether one guy goes first or the other guy, doesn't matter. All 3 of them got the same 58 marks. Just as we come to this value of 63. Doesn't matter the position. All of them got 63. Okay? So does that answer your question, Yvette? Okay, next. Find the range of the scores in each test. So this is a keyword that you need to know. Range. The word range suggests to you that how big it is, right? What is the range? How big it is? How big what is? What are we talking about? How big? Look at the diagram. Which one looks bigger? It tells us the range. So the idea of bigness, how spread out it is, depends on the biggest and the smallest. So the range for mathematics. So I write a range with a little m at the bottom because I'm too lazy to write range of mathematics. So range m is 70 minus, what's that, 53. And we get 17 marks. What about the range for science? Range, science, 69 minus 56. We have 13 marks. Okay, so these are the respective ranges, 17 and 13. 17, 13 marks. Or score. They use the word score, so you use the word score as well. Hey, I'm going to read the scores. Okay, so in this case, don't need the units. Okay, so which test had a greater spread of scores? Okay, so we need to understand the question now. Which test had a greater spread? So must look at the English. What does spread mean? Yeah, it's literally talking about the range. Which one is more spread out? So you look at the diagram, you can tell one of it looks more spread out than the other. So which subject looks more spread out than the other? Maths or science? Mathematics, it looks more spread out to you? Okay, correct. By looking at it, we can see that it is more spread out, but there is a because. So you need to explain. You cannot just say, I see that it's more spread out, right? Because they won't accept the answer. So the answer is mathematics. Okay, so you need to explain. Because what? Range for mathematics. Okay, not wrong to say range of mathematics is greater, but I rather you put in the value also, 17 marks. Okay, you show me that you know. This is the range of mathematics. It is 17 marks. It is greater than. I'm too lazy to write is greater than. Hey, we are dealing with maths over here. Let's throw in a math symbol, greater than. It is greater than the range for science, which is 13 marks. Finish. Okay. Now part C. Part C is Mr. Wong's question. Okay, part C, please copy this down. Which test did they perform better in? Which one did they perform better in? Copy this down first. Think about it and decide. If you know the answer, put it down. Okay, so what are you using to determine which class perform better? Median. Okay, so in this case, we only have two options. It's either the range or the median. Average. Okay, so the idea of average, when you say average, you mean add everything out and divide, right? In mathematics, we call that the mean. Okay, we call it the mean. In this case, since our part A already asked us to find median score, we're going to use median instead of the mean, because the median is also considered a type of average where we just take the center. So for a performance question, we're going to compare median. So look at the two median results. Who did better? Which one did better? Science. Science did better. So our answer is science. SC. Science, because median for science, which is 63, is greater than median for mathematics, which is 62. Okay, you need to be able to write this part description down. For performance, you look at median. For spread, for consistency, you look at range. So put down some notes. I'll put it in green color. Spread or consistency. Consider range. The smaller the range, the more consistent it is. Okay, does it make sense to you? If the range is very small, all the results are very close to each other, it means that you are consistent. But if the results are all very spread out, it means very inconsistent already. Some very poor, some very good. Then the next one is our performance. Performance question, consider median or mean. Okay, and then performance performance is also related to things, keywords like heavier, faster, taller, better. These are words that indicate we are dealing with performance. So you look at the median or the mean. Whereas the word consistency or spread requires us to consider the range. So these are exam tips for you. Next. Okay, this is the one that some of you needed help with. So we got two plumbers, plumber A, plumber B. So plumber A charges as such may look complicated to you because they are combining two things. A real life scenario with a graph looks scary, but it is not. It tells us that he charges a basic fee for the first hour of the job. The horizontal axis says the duration of the job. For 1 hour, he's going to charge $20. Doesn't matter you use 1 minute, 20 minutes, 49 minutes, 1 hour, doesn't matter. It's going to charge $20. That is called the basic fee. It's like when you take a taxi. The moment you go in, by meter fare. The moment you go in a taxi, you see $2.70. Or I don't know what is it now. That is the flat fee. Haven't add anything else yet. And then any extra time, he will increase by a fixed amount. As we can see, after 1 hour, so between 60 minutes and 120 minutes, the amount you have to pay increased by this amount. From $20, it became $32. So there is an increase. What about the next hour? In the next hour, it went from 32 to 44. What is the increase? And so on and so forth. So what is the basic fee charge? It is $20. What is the rate charge for each hour after the first hour? We see that there is an increase of $12. Increase by another $12. You keep increasing by another 12 hours. So in summary, if you want to engage plumber A, first hour, $20. Subsequent hour, $12 per hour. That's his charge. So $12 per hour. How did we get that? We had to minus from 32 to 20, $12. Rather 20 to 32, 32 to 44. 44 to, if you look at the next hour, 60. Is it correct? Oh, no, sorry, see wrongly. Until 50, 56. So that's another 12. Okay? Another 12 and another 12. It's going to be constant as expected. Next, we've got a competitor, plumber B. Plumber B says, I don't charge a basic fee. You pay me by the duration that I am there for. But the cost is $15 per hour. You think about it, when you next time when you buy your own house, you have to engage a plumber. Who will you choose? Will you choose plumber A, who is charging you $20 for first hour, but every additional hour charge $12? Or will you go for plumber B, who charges $15 per hour? How are you going to make your decision? How are you going to make your decision? 20 per hour? Yeah, exactly. Depends on how long the job will take. If the job is a 30-minute job, who are you going to employ? B, because half an hour, plumber B only charge $7.50, right? Whereas plumber A is going to charge you $20, right? Plumber A more expensive if it is a half an hour job. What if it is a 1 hour job? Who are you going to employ? A or B? Still B, isn't it? Plumber B charge you $15. Plumber A is still charging you $20. What about a case where we have many hours? As we will observe later on, we'll think about that in a while. Draw a graph to show plumber B's charges. Okay, so let's draw. Plumber B, after 1 hour, he's going to charge you $15. So one cross over here. Plumber B, after another hour, he is going to charge you another $15. So that's $30. After another 1 hour, $45. After another 1 hour, $60. After another 1 hour, $75. Okay, can you see all the blue crosses? They line up very nicely in a one straight line. So take a ruler, join all of them up. As such. Okay, so these are plumber B's charges. So label your question. Part B. Okay, so now we have to try and understand this. We understand plumber A charges already. Now plumber B is actually more straightforward. Every 1 hour, $15, every 1 hour, $15, more straightforward. So we were saying that for half an hour, plumber A is cheaper. Sorry, plumber B is cheaper. For 1 hour, plumber B is cheaper. But if we look at, for example, 5 hours. Look at 5 hours. Who is cheaper? Plumber A is charging about $60 over. Plumber A. Whereas plumber B is now charging $75 for 5 hour job. So if your job, you know that it's very big scale, will take you very long, you should go with plumber A. Okay, so this is what's happening. Now they are saying that there is a certain job that they charge the same, and they want you to find out how long it takes. When do they have the same charge? So our vertical axis, this over here, is the cost. When is it that they have the same cost? So we look at where they meet. They meet over here. Look at your graph. If everybody drew it accurately, we will all have the same answer, but it's very difficult for all of us to have exactly the same graph. So what you need to do is to find that point on your graph where they cross each other. Where they cross, it means that they are charging you the same amount for the same duration. The question is asking for the duration. So according to my graph, my duration is, let me see. My duration is 2.75 hours. That's mine. $2.75 hours or 2 3/4 hours. And what is my charge? From my graph, it says the charge is 41 for me. I've got $41. Your value, in all likelihood, should be close to mine. Might not be exactly the same, but it should be close to mine, and that is good enough. Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, and we'll end at this question, question 10. So I need all of you to pay close attention. All wake up, pay close attention. I won't say it again already. Here we have a table summarizing the number of books read in 1 month by the members of class of 30 students. 30 students. Numbers, important, huh? These are books read in 1 month. So there are 4 students who read 0 books, totally don't want to read books. Maybe they're doing something else, exercising or something. Okay, 4 students totally never read any book. We've got 7 students who read who read one book. We've got 10 students. Wow, that's the majority. 10 students read 2 books. Is this a good reflection of reality? Do you actually have most people reading 10 books in 2 books in a month? No lah. 2 books in a year, maybe lah. Okay, then we have 5 of them who read 3 books. And we have 4 of them who read 4 books. Now, what is the angle of the sector of the pie chart? This is a pie chart. We are going to be drawing 0 book, 1 book, 2 book, depending on the angle. Okay. So in a complete cycle, we have total of 360 degrees. How are we going to portion this 360 degrees? How are we going to cut the 360 degrees to show the data over here? Divide by what? It depends on the number of students. It depends on the number of students who read the number of books. So for the first case, if there are only 4 students who read 0 books, the angle will be, we write down the proportion, 4 out of how many students? 30 students. This is 4 out of 30 students. Multiply by 360 degrees. 4 out of 30 students. Times 360 degrees. And we get how much? 48, huh? 48 degrees. This is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is to say 30 students represent 360 degrees. This is an alternative. So if we want only 4 students will represent, so we do the same arrows, the green arrows, divide, multiply. So we end up with 360 over 30 times 4. You still get 48 degrees. Okay, different working, but same answer. They're doing the same thing. So the next case, we have, do the same thing. 7 over 30 times 360. How much? 84. Thank you. Next one, 10, 30, 360, 120. Very good. 5 over 30, 360, 60 degrees. And the last one, 4 over 30. Again, 4 over 30. So we expect the same angle, 48 degrees. Great. Now we have all the angles already. Now we can draw. We can complete the pie chart. But you know what? I want to use my protractor to confirm whether my calculation is correct. Can you take a protractor and measure the angle on your TYS? What do you expect it to be? We expect it to be 48. Use your protractor, measure. Did you get 48? Did they draw 48 degrees for you? Check. You will need to bring your protractor for your exam. If it shows 48, good. It means that your method is correct. But if it doesn't show 48, it means something is wrong. Yeah, it is 48. So now let's go on to draw the next one. Okay, so this is 48 degrees. Let's go with the one book. One book, 84 degrees. One book, 84 degrees. So take a protractor, measure 84 degrees. Measure. How to measure? Take protractor, measure now. Go and measure the 84 degrees and draw. Everybody draw. Must know how to draw. So after you have drawn all the angles with another 120 over here, then you must label one book, 2 books. Then the 3 books will be the 60 degrees, 3 books, and finally 48 degrees, 4 books. You have to label and measure accurately. Now the mean number of books is the average number of books. So how many did everybody read altogether? Average. The total number of books is 0 times 4 plus 7 times 1. Add on, add on, add on. Okay, so total will be 0, 4, 1, 7, 2, 10, 3, 5, 4, 4, over a total of 30 students. How much? Is it exact? What is the exact value? Exact value? 48 over 30, huh? So divided by 2, we get 29 over 15. Okay, so that's the average, that's the mean. And then a student is chosen at random. Probability, he read 1 book. 1 book. Who is that guy? Got exact, must leave exact. Okay, so 7 out of 30. Okay, finish.